Essentially, folks, what we're looking for, what I'm looking for, is somebody to represent Joe Cruz TV who is fit, fun, fabulous, and fresh-faced. You know, wholesome. That's what we're looking for. Person who lives the lifestyle and actually practices what we're preaching in terms of living a healthy, wealthy, well, and wise lifestyle. Now, at this point, what I'm going to do now is actually go on to the next part of our program, and that is introduce to you my good friend who's a sponsor of our TV show, Joe Cruz TV, Mr. Tony Davila, RN. CPED, right?
CPED.
CPED.
Joel, good to see you again.
So Tony, tell us about yourself, man.
Well, I'm a registered nurse and I'm also a certified pedorthist. I own a business called RN Plus Medical Supplies. And Joel, what we do is we work with people that have diabetes. The whole purpose of our program is to prevent amputations in the diabetic community. But in your case, I think that what we should talk about is maybe foot issues that some of these people that are going to be conducting may experience as they go through the exercise that might be in your discs and whatnot.
So basically, we're going to be talking about foot health and wellness.
Yes,
Now,
exactly.
Tony, you said pedorthist?
Yeah, I'm a
What is
certified
that? What is a
pedorthist.
certified pedorthist?
It's a national certification that allows me to work with people's feet so that I can manufacture custom devices. Everybody's foot is so different. And so sometimes what we have to do is we have to make changes to the foot to correct a biomechanic deficiency that the patient may have.
So, as a pedorthist, what kind of, how do we measure the health and wellness of a foot?
Well, the first thing that we always have to do, Joel, is measure the foot. Many times, 9 out of every 10 Americans are wearing ill-fitted shoes. If you'll give me just a second, I'll show you what we do. Joel, do you remember this device?
Yes.
This is called a Branix device, and this is where every foot assessment should start. When was the last time you had your foot measured properly? It's probably been forever. And
So it measures the length, the width?
well, actually what we do is we take 3 measurements. We take what is called the heel to toe. Remember how everyone goes to buy shoes and they're always feeling for that big toe? Well, we do a heel to toe. We take the width, but the most important measurement that we do is called the arch length. The arch length gives us the point of the foot where it's the widest. And what we do, Joel, is we always want to put the widest part of the foot into the widest part of the shoe, because this is where the shoe is designed to bend. So when we measure, we want to make sure that we accommodate for all the metatarsal heads and that they fit properly into this part of the shoe.
Okay, so how do you, like, you got something here, it's a piece of paper that takes the print of the shoe.
Right.
Can you demonstrate that, Tony?
The second most important thing that we do, Joel, is we perform what is called a pedograph. It's almost like a thumbprint of the foot. It's done very simply. Nowadays, if you walk into some of these drugstores, you'll see a digital form of this ink impression. We like the ink impression because I think it gives me a truer version of where the pressure points in the foot are. And everyone's is very unique. But what we try and do, Joel, is it's real simple. We'll ink part of the pad. We'll put paper, and you just step on this. In fact, Joel, why don't we do a pedograph on you real quick? Just go ahead and step right on there. Okay, take your foot off. Now, Joel, if you had a problem like diabetes, I would be concerned about you, because this is my foot, and you can see that's kind of evenly inked. But in your case, you see those black spots? Those black spots are actually caused by bones. And if we don't offload those pressure points, you can actually grind away the skin in your foot and produce what is called a foot ulcer. A foot ulcer will lead to an amputation in diabetics 85% of the time. So we think at RN Plus Medical Supplies that you should have your foot measured and have a pedograph as you're thinking about starting your exercise program.
Folks, Tony here has a company that specializes in, really, the goal is to prevent diabetic people from getting amputations. I mean, that's really the whole goal.
Correct. In fact, when President Obama was promoting healthcare reform, one of the things that he was concerned about was the cost of amputations in the diabetic community. It can cost anywhere between $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 if a person has an amputation, when all you have to do is really have your foot measured properly, get an annual pedograph where we offload pressure points, and if we see significant problems, we're going to make a referral so you can see a specialist to try and prevent that amputation.
Tony, why is it so important for a diabetic person to take care of their feet?
The problem is this, Joel. Diabetes affects the circulatory system. We have arteries and we have veins, but one of the things that we forget, Joel, is that that artery becomes a vein. And it's at that microvascular junction that diabetes is impacting the circulatory system. Then, Joel, you'll notice that your foot is the furthest point from your heart. It's not the tips of your fingers. The foot is the furthest point from your heart. That's why it's so prone to having issues, and a small little problem can end up costing someone their limb.
And the reason for that, folks, is because the healing process for diabetic people are very slow, and if they're not taken care of, they get into a gangrenous state.
Sure.
Like they form that, they basically die. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Gangrene, you know, black, I mean, just yucky, you know. And then, you know, what the doctor would do is amputate it because there's no hope for that. So that's why it's so important to take care of your feet. Now, speaking about taking care of your feet, Tony, what advice and tips would you give the viewers, especially those who have the circulation problems in their feet, to help them take care of their feet?
Really, it's going to be really basic. 1, have your foot measured on an annual basis. 2, get a regular pedograph done of your foot. And watch your foot. You have to wear what we call protective footwear. Something that's going to protect your foot. Many times women are all about fashion. They want to show off their pedicures. But what we really need to do in a person that has diabetes is really protect those toes. So many insurance companies, Joel, will pay for you to get protective footwear and to see a business like mine. So it's really simple. You can ask your physician for a referral to RN Plus Medical Supplies. We're located over on Buena Vista Street in San Antonio, Texas.
What's the address, Tony?
It's 2424 Buena Vista Street, and our website is www.rnplusms.com.
And if they have to call the number, what's the number?
The number, and I always forget this because I never call the office, but it's 210-435-6200. If you want to email me, my email address is Tony, Tony, Davila, Davila, at me.com. Tony Davila at me.com.
Now, folks, many of you probably don't know that I was a diabetic. Okay? I was borderline about 6-7 years ago, and then I didn't take care of my health, so I crossed the line. But then when I decided to become healthy and lost really a total of 40 pounds in 8 months, 29 of those I lost in 33 days, my numbers, cholesterol level, my blood sugar just, went normal, okay? Which is great. So that's why I'm doing this show, is basically to help those people who think it's too late for them I was 44 when this happened, 43, going on 44. And I basically lost it all, especially my health. Now I'm getting it back. And I live better now than I have in the last 2 years because I made a decision. Now, one of the things that I just asked Tony about is to feature a diabetic section, like diabetic care section of this TV show, at least on a monthly basis, maybe more often. So are you open to that, Tony?
You bet, Joel. Anything that we
I'm
can
putting
do
him on
to
the
help
spot.
you. You bet.
So Tony and I, especially Tony, will be featured every month, at least, maybe more often, on how to take care of your body, especially your feet, because you're diabetic. So any final tips, Tony, before you go?
Joel, I'm just going to say that people need to be working out. I think your program, following the Beachbody coaches, is a solid way to really get your fitness off the ground. And if RM Plus can be of any value to you, do not hesitate to call us. Thank you very much, Joel.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.